Hey guys, Troy here with another video. Today I'll run through a tutorial on the 20-minute full body routine. There's a lot of basic exercises in there, but there's also a few new ones. So it's not going to hurt you to touch base on the basic stuff, just get that technique right. And also we'll work from in order on the exercises that go through the workout so you know what sort of flow we're working with. First exercise is a swing to squat. So I swing as the kettlebell comes up, you are squatting again. So it's hinging and squatting. So it's a little bit of coordination involved. You can just see from the side, I am hinging on the first one. So I hinge, as I go into a hinge, it from there is into a squat. And that's how it looks like. So in real time, one swing, one squat. One swing, you go from a hinge to a squat. That's the first one. Second one is just a basic two-handed, single-legged RDL. So you're going to make sure the leg you're balancing on just has a soft knee. You're going to make sure this leg is straight. Point the toe, almost like a pendulum. This is the right way to do it. That way you're hiking your hip up to work that glute. You're going to hinge, drop the kettlebell right down to the knee with a 20-degree knee bend in this front. We're just trying to ensure we get glutes and hamstrings on that front leg. That's why that 20-degree knee bend is crucial. The next exercise is a lateral lunge. There's going to be a lot of people that are more flexible at this than me, but I like to work on alignment. So the correct way to do a lateral lunge, holding the kettlebell up at the shoulder height, you're going to step, you're going to push your bum backwards and feel that hinge. You should feel a slight adductor stretch on this side. You're trying to keep this shoe flat, hopefully pointing straight as well. And then the same with this one's the most important one. So we're going to try and get that position. So if I go too wide, you'll see at the bottom, my hips, my glutes are inside this knee and foot. I want to find a good position where it's that sweet spot. And now I've got my glutes, my knee and my ankle all in one position. So that's the right distance for me. So here and hinge. If you have better ankle mobility, knee flexibility, you might better get deeper, but I don't want you to compromise form. I don't want you to compromise with hinging more. That's where we're going to work the wrong muscles. If you have more ankle flexibility, you'll be able to track that knee right forward and get a lot deeper. That's going to be repetitive on one side, 10 reps and 10 reps on the other side. The next exercise is a back lunge to a clean. So always remember, if you're holding the kettlebell on that right side, the right leg is going to go back into the lunge. So it doesn't have to be a deep lunge, it can if you want to be, but it's going to go down to the ground. As you come up, you're going to tuck that elbow in and you're going to clean it. It goes back down to the inside of the foot with a hinge. You're either dropping the back leg or not, it's up to you, and come up. So you can actually make it either a toe tap hinge, where you are working a bit more hamstrings and glutes. So a bit more of a hinge into the clean, or you can go into a full lunge and clean on that one. So that's the back lunge to clean. The next one I've included from the video of my top 5 that I recommend. We're going to go into a lateral clean to a forward lunge press. I will demonstrate again as I did in that video. It's a hinge, it's a clean, that leg goes forward into a lunge and press. You're hinging, make sure the kettlebell goes between the legs, not to the outside of the foot. It's a single arm kettlebell swing with a forward lunge to press. That's all the lower body exercises. I then take you through upper body exercises. I start with one of my favorites, knee to elbow press. So kettlebell straight up to the sky, take the weight off that same leg, so you're looking at yourself that your nose, your belly button and your hip are almost in a line over here. That's going to give you the best chance of balancing this arm out as well. I'm going to try and control that, time it, and press and finish with a light tap. In again and press. And I'm always looking at alignment here. If you might get the odd one where that knee comes, the alignment comes off. That's when you're going to put too much weight through this. You're losing that contraction of this whole side that we're trying to do. So
there's 7 degrees of separation. It's a sea life and leave. You think you want this or you think you want that.
That's a single arm knee to elbow press. Bottoms up clean, another one of my favorites. I put it in there as an upper body exercise because of the sheer volume of the bicep contraction that it gets. So single arm swing, and then trying to hold that just for a split second, really trying to balance that kettlebell up there and straight into a hinge, tucking that elbow in so we make sure it's balancing through the forearms and the biceps. We're not trying to get it out the front here, we're going to challenge more stability. It's an elbow tuck in to get that bicep contraction. Bottoms up clean. Next one's quite a challenging one. You're going to try and do as many as you can. You don't have to last for the full time that I do it. It's going to be a push-up with one hand on the kettlebell. And as you come up into the push-up, you're going to raise that hand that's not on the kettlebell. And that's the push-up to arm raise. We're going to go straight into some curls next with the kettlebell. 2 different ways you can hold it. You can hold it this way, traditional bicep curl, or you can reverse your grip, makes the kettlebell longer, gets more biceps. You can take your pick on that one. Next one I'm going to is 1 1/4 tricep extension. So a normal tricep extension is holding up overhead and extending through the elbows. 1 1/4, taking it all the way down, up, take it back down and drive. And what you're trying to do is feel the stretch in the triceps, contract the triceps, to some degree contract the biceps to throw it down and go back up. So here, throw it down with the biceps and contract. So that's a 1 1/4. Recommend that one if it's a light kettlebell for your triceps, as it is for me. 1 1/4 is going to make it a little bit more challenging. If you find it challenging, just do normal reps because we're only looking for 10 reps. I'm going to move on to the total body exercises. Probably one of my favorites is the single arm snatch. I do have a tutorial on the single arm snatch. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but we're going to swing, push through the kettlebell so it gently lands on the back of the wrist. And the correct way so you don't hurt yourself is to lean back so the kettlebell comes in front of you to go into the next one. And there's that little shift as I go, trying to make sure that the kettlebell stays in that same plane. It doesn't go off the plane. So you're trying to stay here. That's why there'll be that little shift and drive off through there, hinging, and there's your snatches. Next one is just a figure 8 squat. It's quite a simple exercise, but a lot of people get the coordination wrong on the angles. I like to go over. So if I'm going to pass the kettlebell over between my legs, come up, I'm just going to pause for a second and catch it here, and this hand has to go over the top. Again, come up and hold. So squatting, up and hold, squatting, up and hold. Next one I'm wanting to call this a total body exercise because of the sheer fact that it's working your rotational muscles and your hips do have to work. 3.5 kneeling swing that I put in my top 5 exercises. And then that will lead us on to our core stuff. So on the floor, a lot of these you would have seen in my previous videos. Single arm get up. So I recommend doing a heavy kettlebell because I don't mind if you use your arm to get up. See me rock onto my arm because essentially we're working the core anyway. So you just come down in the middle. So if the kettlebell is too heavy, use your arm. Then use your abs on the way down. I do like that version better because working more one side of my obliques on the way up and then more my rectus abdominis on the way down, as opposed to if you come up like this, you're fatiguing your rectus abdominis on the way up and on the way down, and they're too fried by the time you get to the other arm. Next exercise went into was a scissor press. So you're placing the kettlebell on the chest. As you raise the kettlebell up, take the shoulder blades off, one leg comes up. You take it down, you time the kettlebell with your shoulders, and you alternate. Scissor press. The next one was a side-to-side twist. Legs bent, kettlebell in the same position, shoulder blades off the ground, and reaching side to side, trying to stay up. And the last one I chose was a plank. We're going to choose a high plank because I like to use the kettlebell for shoulder stability as well. So any which way you want to hold it. So you've got just a plank, high plank holding here with good posture alignment. I like to do balancing on the handle, be very, very careful to try and make sure you don't smash it and collapse onto your wrist. So when you get in that position, one leg, double check that you feel the pressure to the kettlebell, that you feel okay, and that your shoulders are stacked over your wrist. Release the other leg. Constantly trying to hold. Never lose focus because the kettlebell will drop one way and you hurt yourself. Or, like I mentioned, that way, there is another way where you can just hold the kettlebell that way, place your hands on the outside, and there's your high plank. So guys, make sure you do like or comment on the video on the workout that's about to come up. Please subscribe, let's try and get the subscriber rate up, and I really hope you enjoy the workout.
Be on her mind like non-stop, yeah. Had to cut the little thought, no tomahawk. Remember smoking blunts with my friends. The seconds a couple of days, yeah. Lost a lot to the fan.